OK, welcome back to the show. Now, let's face it, getting old isn't something most of us like to think about or talk about or really focus on too much. But we need to because we're living longer. So what will our later years be like, our latter years even?
Yeah, for too many people who are getting older, they are lonely. And as they cope with losing partners and friends and health and hobbies, it obviously gets worse. But there are people who are working to change that, and there are little things that we can do. So Sarah Stewart looks at some novel ways to make life a little less lonely.
Wind power gave him enough pressure to pump to his paddock troughs.
What must it be like getting old? Helen's life has been turned upside down. She's just moved from her apartment at Highlands Retirement Village into nursing care.
You lose everything.
How do you cope with it? Do you get many visitors, or is it a bit lonely?
No, I don't. I'm alone.
And that's tough, I can say.
It's tough. It's tougher than tough.
Elderly isolation is a growing problem. The number of people over 80 will double in the next 20 years. Researchers have found half of those over 65 feel lonely, 10% severely so. How much of an issue that is only now becoming clear.
So recent international evidence shows that loneliness has the same health effect as smoking 15 cigarettes a day or being a problem drinker.
So how do we tackle that demon? Helen says the lovely staff make a difference. But there's another bright spot in her week, Sophie.
Hello, my little love. It's bringing the outside inside, isn't it? I mean, she's such a beautiful dog.
She's my friend, aren't you, Sophie? She is. She's my lovely friend.
It seems very simple, but animal therapy is helping combat loneliness.
Well, they say that it lowers the blood pressure. Just stroking an animal. Come on then.
Avril and Sophie are among 300 SPCA and St John volunteers visiting rest homes.
There was a lady, I think Lansdowne, who never said anything very much and suddenly started speaking to Sophie. And that's evidently a well-known thing, that people will talk to animals like children will read to dogs where they won't read to a teacher.
Animals aren't the only therapists. At Auckland's Selwyn Heights Rest Home, they've sent in the clowns, though not everyone's laughing.
I think they're utterly ridiculous. I really do. But then I haven't got a sense of humour.
These self-styled clown doctors are using humour as therapy.
Major disaster, pleasure to meet you.
Major disaster. Oh, man.
It's not just silly clowns running around and have a colourful wig and doing something silly. They have to learn about medical science, psychology, social science, religion, compassion and care.
You know, they touch us, and that's really nice.
Their founder says it's as simple as talking to elderly people normally.
They are restricted in their movements, they are restricted in their physicality, but not in their mental abilities, and we very often misjudge this. And then what we discover is that you have unbelievable treasure underneath.
For those still living at home, the Selwyn Foundation runs drop-in centres in church halls, providing gentle exercise, a cuppa and a chat. Interrupt at your peril.
Well, ask me the question so I can go back.
Oh, it's just wonderful to meet all these people, and it's the highlight of my life.
I'd be lost without it.
Some are fortunate to live with family.
I think I'm in the lucky bitch department.
But they still know loneliness. 93-year-old Beatrice has just lost her best friend.
She was a darling. We'd go shopping, we'd go have a coffee, we'd go have poached eggs on toast, and that was lovely. Now to do that on my own, it's a no-no.
So obviously it's great that people are living longer, but I think we really need to look at how we can support those extra years of life to be well lived.
These schemes are making a difference for the forgotten generation, because it doesn't take much, just contact.
Now go and sit down now.
Yes, you can.
Thank you. Give me a hug.
Hugging helps with the loneliness too. It brought me lots of memories for me, actually. I used to smuggle cans of beer into my grandfather's retirement home because he was pretty bored and lonely. In fact, I think he wasn't very happy there anyway. So I'd smuggle in these cans of Rheineck every Friday in school uniform. I was in school uniform.
What is it with the grandparents? Because, you know, I smuggle in whiskey to my grandmother still.
Still do it?
Yeah. I buy her a big bottle of whiskey like this and then she sticks it in her walk-in wardrobe, but underneath the clothing so that the people can't find it.
Well, that breaches all the liquor licensing rules, so I'll ring the cops after this, OK? Hey, up next on the story,